Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 10 plants and veggies that you can start in January. Number 1, broccoli. You look on the seed pack and you see 70 right here. Majority of the time, this days to harvest that's on the seed pack does not include the amount of days that it takes for the seed to sprout. So just make sure that when you're looking at those days to maturity, add about 1 to 2 weeks just to be safe. Don't pull your plant up if it's not ready to harvest within those days that's on the seed pack. So I'm going to be starting it the second to last week or the very last week of January. Another brassica that I'm going to be starting the same time would be cabbage. I purchased this cabbage, which was supposed to be Chinese cabbage, from Amazon, and it actually was not cabbage at all. They are mustard greens. So for one, I won't be ordering any other seeds from Amazon. I prefer to order my seeds from Burpees. If you have a seed company that you like, drop it in the comments below. I would love to know and try them out. Cabbage takes about 80 to 120 days to harvest. If you plant them at the end of this month, they should be ready around mid to late March. The next brassica I'm growing is kale. This is the specific type that I'm going to be growing. I prefer the curly kale. I was growing dinosaur kale for a while and I just don't like the texture. So I'm going to be growing the curly kale. It should be ready to harvest within 50 to 75 days. Next brassica will be collard greens. I absolutely love collard greens. I love the mixture of collard greens with cabbage. Collard greens take about 60 to 85 days to maturity. So if you notice, I've only spoken about brassica plants this far, and it's because I want to let you know something. If you are wanting to grow anything in the brassica family, broccoli, cabbage, kale, collard greens, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, mustard greens, they tend to have the same rules per se. The seeds can all germinate in 40-degree soil temperature, but they prefer warmer, 70 degrees, 75 degrees or higher, and they all prefer cooler weather. They will bolt in hot weather. So if you start them now and get them in early spring, they'll flourish. Next is lettuce. I actually purchased this from Amazon and I have not had a bad experience with this. There is a lot of different varieties of lettuce in here. I've actually grown quite a few of them, but the one specifically that I am growing now and I have already started is the ruby red leaf lettuce. Lettuce in particular prefers cooler weather. The cool weather makes them crunchier and sweeter. However, there are still some varieties of lettuce that does not do too good in the cold, and there are some that don't do too good in the heat. So the one I'm growing is the red ruby lettuce because the red varieties tend to do better in the cool weather versus the green varieties of leaf lettuce. I have ruby red lettuce right now out in my garden I have 15 of them that I just noticed were out there. Actually, those are volunteer plants because I let my ruby red lettuce go to seed last year. And now 15 volunteer plants have come up and they have all endured the frost. Next is spinach. So with spinach is pretty much the same. There are varieties that are better in the cold and there are some that has been bioengineered to withstand the heat. Spinach on a whole does prefer the cold, but you still want to make sure you do your research to get the right variety. Next is bulbing onion. So if you did not get a chance to get your seeds started in the end of December, now is your time. You want to make sure that you are starting your seeds for your bulbing onions in January. If not, you will have to wait to get the slips from the store once they start selling them. Bulbing onions take 100 to 150 days to harvest, and you want to make sure that you get the correct seeds by looking at the onion growing chart I'm going to put up here. Based on short day, long day, intermediate day. That's the amount of daylight that you get in your area. Onions are very sensitive to daylight, so you want to make sure that you get the correct variety for your daylight because the temperature and the daylight combination is what triggers the bulb to grow. If you don't get the right variety, the bulb will not grow. All you will get are the green onion tops. The next three are chamomile, lavender, and basil. I'm going to do a separate videos just for those three because I want you to watch the growing process with those. I've also started rosemary. Chamomile is 60 to 90 days to harvest. Lavender is 90 to 200 days, and basil is the shortest. It grows pretty fast, 50 to 75 days to harvest.